More than 200 million years ago, long before humanity walked the earth, a wild world reigned supreme: dinosaurs. In a hostile and changing climate, they dominated the planet for more than 160 million years. Today, we are going to trace their stories, filled with adventure, love, and solitude. Welcome to the prehistoric world. Before the T-Rex, before the Spinosaurus, there was a giant, a silent killer from the wild lands of prehistoric Argentina. Its name, Jiggonottosaurus. This female is in search of prey, a snack, but also a healthy territory. And it's a good thing. In front of her, a group of Therizinosaurus feeding on small insects and plants would be a perfect meal. But before anything else, we need to catch them up before we lose sight of them. But it seems that this little group has decided to take an evening walk. No choice then. We have to follow them closely and gently. But it is not the adult Therizinosaurus that interests her, but the juvenile that accompanies them. Unfortunately, the Therizinosaurus feel followed. The forest is their greatest refuge, and they decide to hide. However, rain is very common at this time of year. Our hunter is not very lucky. The rain prevents her from following her trail, and the search becomes pointless. The only thing to do after a failed hunt is to go home and hope to find something else. But on the way back, an unknown but similar smell catches her attention. A male has entered his territory, and furthermore, it's the mating season. Together, the hunt is easier, and the species can last. To attract the attention of the female, the male will produce soft vocalizations. And if the female responds, he can approach. To win the female's favor, he must appear strong, large, and even handsome. He will then show off his beautiful colors and his scars to prove to her that their descendant will survive. The female will inspect him very seriously and decide according to these criteria: the union, or not. This male is undoubtedly not good enough for her. He will then be hunted from the territory until the next season, when he can try his luck again. Let's move forward in time, more precisely 30 million years later, when the Jiggonottosaurus is no longer part of this world. But another type of giant takes its place with an added advantage: it can fly. The Ketzala. It measured about 11 meters, a real flying giraffe. This species is known to live either alone or in small groups to ensure safety. But this young male is in search of a possible future reproduction. Further on, he spotted a female. It is time to show what he is capable of. He is going to join her on her rock and try a technique he has established. To show his greatness. But the female doesn't share this opinion. She sends him packing. The young male is therefore going to pull out his secret weapon, offer gifts. And why not a few shiny things? Yes, like some today's birds. This little shiny object could be perfect to help him make his nest. But no, nothing works. She is not very easy to approach, but he hasn't said his last word. What is the most important thing in nature? Food. He showed that he was capable of doing many things. And today in North America, a pair of Quetzalcoatlus was born. The day life is beautiful, isn't it? But what about the night? Here is a Bonapartenicus, a dinosaur that has nocturnal tendencies. Indeed, daytime can be dangerous for this juvenile. The night, which makes it almost invisible, is perfect for looking for food. His instinct is to make this little vocalization in order to possibly find a group of juveniles, and they could then grow up together. This dinosaur becomes dehydrated very quickly because its main diet is based on insects and nectar. Indeed, it has a very fine tongue made of a sticky substance, which is perfect for catching insects. But the sun will not be long in rising. It is time for her to sleep and wait for the rise of the night. Again, until adulthood. What about the herbivores? More specifically, the Miragaya. To do this, let's go back in time. To be precise, to the late Jurassic, long before our Jiggonottosaurus and our Quetzalcoatlus. Here is Miragaya. Miragaya measured between 5.5 and 6 meters long and weighed about 1 or 2 tons. Here is a female and her young. They were lost from the herd. But by staying in this area, the herd will return. Indeed, this is their favorite area. Female Miragaya are very bold and will not hesitate to defend their young, even against larger ones. The Miragana had small dorsal plates, 4 spines on the tail, and 2 other spines on the shoulders. Fearsome tusks. The female will stand guard and repel any type of threat. But the young needs a sip of water. The female accompanies him. But at what cost? The night is full of invisible danger. In short, in this prehistoric world, you are never alone. A predator has been watching them for a while and decides to go on the attack. Panic sets in. Fleeing is the first option. But the mother's instinct takes over and goes on the offensive. A tail blow can be fatal. The predator decides to live rather than lose his life in this fight. The little family seems destabilized, but they will recover. Hunting is not as easy as it seems. It can be successful or not. The Quetzalcoatlus is a perfect example of this, being a scavenger. It is an excellent hunter of small prey. This carcass interests them, but the female doesn't like to share her meal. Like birds, they are not very clever. They have awakened the true hunters of this prey. But it will do for now. Their negative points are that they prefer not to hunt together. I would say thankfully, but now they must find real food. And it seems that the young male has found something. The hunt begins. The young male tries to tire his prey by biting its tail, and the female watches the hunt from above and seems not very impressed. The male missed his chance, and the female wonders if he will ever be able to hunt one day. The male is determined. Near a river, he has spotted something, a perfect meal, and this time he cannot miss. He examines his prey and goes on the attack. He exhausts it as much as he can under the gaze of the female. The prey ends up getting exhausted and death occurs. But it's the rule. The females eat first. The female is proud. But it is not always a success. Our Jiggonottosaurus is starting to run out of prey. The end of the late Cretaceous is beginning to weigh on our female. She starts to dig in the ground for small prey, but it is never enough. She drives away any entering predator from her territory. She is exhausted. But a glimmer of hope appears. A herbivore alone. She doesn't waste a second and charges at her prey without thinking. A mistake. If by misfortune she gets hit by the tail of that herbivore, it's over. But she is so hungry, she makes the ultimate mistake. She can no longer continue the fight, but at what cost? She is now in very bad shape. She urgently needs rest to find another prey. But on this night, she will no longer need to think about that. The lack of food and the change in climate is one of the consequences of the loss of several species of dinosaurs, making way for other giants. That night, a giant went extinct. Some years later, the dinosaur Jiggonottosaurus will be completely extinct.